He's on a nice 3-week.
Can we call the meeting
Golf.
to order yet?
Golf.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess I call the meeting of Albany Polk Communities Corporation to order, and I guess from roll call, Albany's Thundertrain and I are here. The hose, we got Gary and Shane.
Yep.
Rensselaer, we've got Bill Smart. Troy, we've got nobody yet.
Chris is on his way.
Chris is on his way. We need Chris for a forum probably.
Let's see. You count, how many you count for?
Oh, that's right. We got different amounts for different people. We gotta keep track of this. We may need Chris. So we'll wait in regard to resolutions until Chris joins us, I guess. Water Belief today. Not anybody from Water Belief. Green Island, Maggie is here. Albany County Water Purification District, Tim Murphy's here. And CDRPC, Mark and Tom are here with us. And anybody on? Oh, Mike Miller is here. Remotely. So. In regard to the minutes, I do have a few comments about the minutes. On the first page, down at the bottom, the last paragraph, it says opening trade not looking to finance early LPCP costs. That would be finance pre-consent order cost. And then that last line under updates and completion, it probably should be both consent order and speedies permit dates. Would be in March 2024. And also there's at the top of the second page. Reference in regard to street improvements. I would say that should say at the Albany County Water Purification North Plant. How to capitalize in North. On the third page, project updates. There's 6. There's some sort of typo. Mike Miller added the other bore week. Here, you know what word should be there?
Well, there's 2 bores,
Is that
and Bleed Street was done, and the other bore was going to be done the following week on Johnson.
should that week just be struck or what's it? Haven't changed it.
Added the other week,
Yeah,
added the other bore is anticipated.
Right.
Just strike the
the other
week.
bore, the strike week.
And then further down, the city completed 2 projects. What should that, how should that read, Gary? The cross street phase, so that's Troy,
That's right.
across the city. Completed 2 projects. I'm not sure, maybe we need Chris to tell us what that needs to be done. And other business mentions the Forbes Avenue project. It's probably supposed to say if awarded instead of awarded. And then the next page, it starts with reminded, and I'm not sure if there's something that's meant to be before that. I think that on it.
Just put it in marching.
I guess we'll hold off on approval of the minutes accepted until we get Chris here to.
Yeah, page one also, there's just two minor things. Jane's not a PE yet. Will be, but currently. That's not the case.
EIT is more appropriate. Okay.
And I believe Dave from Motor Blade, it's not a PE.
Okay. So we've got a couple of edits there.
I like Dave.
I know, I sometimes get the mail that recently that says honorable. I have to tell somebody, nobody elected me or anything, so I just.
That doesn't mean you're not
I'm
honorable.
not-
That's fine to be a very honorable person.
So we'll go to the financial reports and put back the minutes.
Okay, as of the end of March, we had $798,000 in the bank, of which almost all of it's being dispersed. A big chunk to Gary and another chunk to Albany. We're at about 40% of our total budget for the year being completed, with about $8 million, a little over $8 million having been reported and approved so far. With today's action, presuming everything is approved, we'll be at about 60%. Again, Albany is spending money. And any questions?
I know we had gotten from EFC that breakdown of the invoices against the different projects on. But sometime we could review some of that with Justin.
Yeah, I'm actually working on that. I've got the stuff to go out. Some payments to you guys, and then we'll see where else we stand.
And we also were trying to get the ability to remote or access us.
That's all set up. Tom should be getting. You didn't get an email from the guys at Northeast Network Solutions. Okay, I'll reach out to them. They will set you up with the remote access. I've got you set up on QuickBooks already. And all we need to do is view the link in, and then you'll have read-only access to everything on the QuickBooks file. Right. So,
You might want to check your junk. Sometimes their emails go into junk.
I guess we'll skip over vendor invoices and
Got a real quick question. Did you get the payment from the hose, the 271,000?
yeah, but matter of fact, it's being sent to Albany post haste.
thank you.
Would have been done earlier, but I wasn't here.
Any other questions on financial report? Thanks, John.
This is in fact an action item, even though there's a typo on the agenda.
The what's an action?
Approval of the financials. Do you guys approve?
No, we don't.
No, there's no approval, it's just a
That is
report.
Oh,
that is a resolution. Typically,
When it comes down to the final year-end reports, then that becomes an action item.
the vendor invoices is, so we'll pass over that until Chris and I said. And so EFC disbursements and reconciliations. Most of that is Beaver Creek going on right now, but there are things with Troy and Cohoes that we're trying to get dispersible. Okay, we got it. He's here. We're waiting for you, Chris.
All right, and union issues.
Chris, we're going over some typos and things in the minutes, Chris. And
so the meeting officially is called to order at 10:10 with the quorum.
okay, officially, yeah, we've been going through things that don't require resolutions until you get it. And we were reviewing some things in the minutes and done some things, but on project updates, which is the 6 minutes, there was a mention about Cross Street Phase 2, and I think you might want to say what the wording of this is supposed to be.
So it says for Cross Street Phase 2, the city of Troy completed 2, which is probably a typo, project after the tributary sampling several years ago.
Should be a project. I contribute there same one. So we're ready to go.
But that wasn't necessarily what, we were still gonna have an additional cross street.
And evaluated an additional project is required.
So that wasn't gonna satisfy the our deadline necessarily for long-term control plan.
Yeah.
We're gonna still have another project.
Yes.
So do we want to have this in or have this just as a what did you want it to say?
For Cross Street Phase 2, the city completed a project after tributary sampling several years ago. Pros reviewed the project to determine if further work is needed.
You got that, Marcus?
Mm-hmm.
So with that, can I have a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
I'll make one.
I'll second.
Gary seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. We had the financial report, if, Chris, you wanted to repeat that, or, then we'll go to vendor invoice. You want to go over that for Mark?
Sure. We have a bunch of vendor invoices for payment.
Good enough?
Mm-hmm.
I'll get a real quick question on one of them. I think I know the answer. I just want to verification on the Jezzers payment 9 for 32,000. The previous set of vouchers or a set of invoices from the last meeting also had a payment 9. I have a feeling though that this is a different phase.
I think you're correct in that assumption.
The Gesture has 2 contracts. They've got a forming contract and an HVAC contract, so
Okay.
maybe we should distinguish between their contracts. So one would have like an H and one would have
The- Okay.
and the Gesture is spelling is a little off, so we want
Mm-hmm.
to
No, that's
get the correct spelling for the Gesture. Any other questions about invoices? Let's see, we got 8750 to pay the mechanics. Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a motion to pay these invoices?
I'll make a motion.
Maybe,
I'll second.
okay, seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
I guess I'll make the statement that this really all depends on our getting the funds in through EFC mostly. We currently don't have this amount in the bank, but we will pay when we have the funds.
I'll get the detail out to all of the communities in the next day or so. So everybody's ready to go when that happens.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution regarding that is Amy and signatory. I was checking into both our fiscal policy and the bylaws. And I believe it's really the president who's supposed to sign checks, and the treasurer wouldn't have essentially the president, so. I'm not sure whether the bylaws got changed at some point that we had CRPC sign the checks, but it would appear in our bylaws that wasn't how it was supposed to be, and I don't know too in our crime policy that we have would not be the proper parking thing, so.
But I think that needs to be verified, but at the same time, from a convenience standpoint, it makes little sense to have things go to you to be signed. However, typically, in my experience, is to have you have a designee or an authorized signer approved by the board eliminates that logistical issue. So it's really up to the board that, well, one, the bylaws need to be followed, but at the same time, what does the board want to do and amend the bylaws if that haven't been done, so that this can be done more efficiently.
Yeah, I think I brought my binder that was like our original director's binder. And I don't know, at this point in time, maybe we need to update some binder information so if people keep it someplace, we update that. It might be that this director's thing exists digitally on our member site or in our Dropbox someplace, but we probably should update some of the pages in here and if we change any policies.
Well, you and I meet to go over things in detail?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll table that for EFC disbursements and reconciliations. We started talking about that. We've been having every 2 weeks having an EFC Zoom meeting, and we're trying to get things dispersible. It goes phase 2, Columbia Street and Druid Street and Oak Street and I guess Van Buren Street coming up and CDM Smith's engineering stuff. We still have a lot of things that aren't dispersible yet. So
I just sent, for the third time, the 2 items that they said that they still got to review, the lobby insert and American Iron and Steel on Columbia Street Phase 2. So, I emailed it. Emily found it again and sent it to me, and I emailed it to EFC this morning. Copied 3 different people and my priest and everybody else, and hopefully they'll get it and review it and take a look. So, Fleet Street Phase 3. That's a little bit more complicated. We're working with Brenda Lee on MWBE, and that's the big hangup. I know that they're still looking for some American Iron and Steel. We had given them some certs or so on the steel casing for the borings. That was the easy one. Newcastle still is in the process of getting it for some of the precast units that are currently being made. But the biggest thing there is the MWBE stuff.
they give you a gigantic list for good faith effort.
Well, we're still, Newcastle still has to complete the search requirements as required by EFC now. This is the 3rd rendition. So we're hoping that we just got something in yesterday from Newcastle. So we're gonna renew it in-house because our grant person spent an hour on the phone with Brenda Lee to find out exactly how she wants it. So we're hoping that this current submittal ends up complying with what she wants.
And there's some engineering holes on phase Columbia Street. But you think you got that?
Yeah, I mean, because there were only 2 items that they had sent you that you had forwarded to me, and that was the HCI and the lobby insert.
Or Columbia should be good.
So, yeah, as far as I know. So, yeah, the thing that worries me about the lead street is that there is the waiver. Problem being is that there's only a couple more months of work done to be done on that project. So if for some reason the waiver is denied, I don't know what you do, because we'll have the project complete. So, it's kind of hurting us a little bit too, because we've got a GIGP grant that we haven't drawn down on. We've been financing this thing through a band that we've got.
Yeah. Well, I guess we just gotta keep trying and
Yeah,
jump through the hoops. It gets frustrating when you think you already got stuff covered, but
yeah, exactly.
Chris, are you getting anywhere with various things, CDMs, engineering stuff?
It's the little stuff that's tying everything up. Polk Street has a full waiver. But yeah, it's the AIS that I give them to review, then they want something else. I'm still backtracking to a couple other projects that they did review on. They wanted subcontractor contracts and payment forms and wage rate schedules for subcontractors. That was the one that was taught at me. So I worked with the contractor on a project from 4 years ago to get all that. Who at the time the subcontractor was an MWBD, now they are not. So I'm still trying to hope that they keep the MWBD status when the project was completed and don't update them to a non-MWBD now. But yeah, we're still working through all the paperwork on all of that.
So that's how we're doing. So we have every other Tuesday, we're having a Zoom meeting with them. I see that there's one thing, Chris. I saw some emails back and forth, and we mentioned in the last meeting that there's not an O3 that Troy has on the intended use plan. You've got another financing listed
For
for the long-term control plan.
I think it's for my projects.
I think it's
could be.
for Manorab and
We'll see.
Little C.
They're out there a ways, yeah.
Yeah, could be.
So
Yeah, we try to lump everything into, we're closing on. Should we close that? One.
the O1 had everything except those two projects.
Two.
No threes.
I'm gonna tell you until you start.
Those three.
Based on, the proposal.
Okay, so I see on the agenda here, we have next round of post-construction compliance monitoring. We're gonna be talking to DC this afternoon in a quarterly meeting. I don't know if that was brought up kind of for that. Now that we have an extension of our completion dates, I guess we've been talking to DC previously about when the post-construction compliance, so 2024 ends up being our first operational year. We might want 2025 to be the post-construction compliance monitoring year, but we can discuss that with DC. I guess the other thing is we haven't got an official word from DC about a request for an extension in regard to both the consent order and the opening speeds permit. So let's see what the status of that is. And other than that, if we go to our project updates, Speed Creek's been moving along, but John Keller's been having some horrible email to the supplier of our odor control equipment because they just don't seem to be producing it in these beside herself because it's holding up the whole thing. We did get through having our bypass operation at South Plant to put that actuated gate at the South Plant. That was quite an operation, and it's not fully operational yet because the control panels didn't come yet, but the motors and actuators and local panels and things are there. And so that there's still also some things being worked out with the conveyors and the washer compactor as part of the screening project, but the phase two, that did not go. The screen part went well, or the screens are working well, but the conveyor and the washer compactor part is
Not so much.
not so much. It's just throwing stuff all over the floor and so Jet Industries. It's
Still working.
Still working on that, so. Phase 3 and 4 were completed. So it's just phase 5, which is the building, and there's all kinds of contractors now working there, but most of the building is in place, except they couldn't put the roof over the area where the odor control is gonna go. And this whole building is cast in place concrete, so it's holding up finishing the building. They don't have the odor control equipment, which was supposed to be delivered at the end of December. So that's Beaver Creek. The only other things Albany is doing is some preliminary engineers report for elimination of a couple of regulators. And I think you're getting some, we're doing an RFP for some preliminary engineering.
Yes, both for the two projects or so that are out of ways, Manor Avenue and Little State.
We're getting close over time though.
Yeah. So, yeah, the RFPs are coming in tomorrow. We'll take a look at them. And Columbia Street contractor is scheduled to remobilize Monday. And they have until end of June to be done with the project. So hopefully Mother Nature cooperates with whatever and allows a lot of the restoration to get done. There's still quite a bit of work to do, but it's all restoration type work, except for some of the green infrastructure plannings and stuff like that. But it's just under $1 million. So, and you know, Mohawk Hudson Bike Trail. That's proceeding. The 2 bores are done. We're if Mother Nature cooperates, we'll have no trouble meeting the June substantial completion date. The final completion is end of July 28th, I think. So that's definitely doable. I just got notified. I got to let Mike know. I got to let Arcadis know. EFC wants to do some inspections on the 27th in the afternoon now. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if DEC is joining now or it's just EFC. I know that they were talking about trying to get some of their administrative staff out there so that they actually can see what a construction project looks like. Maybe get some mud on their boots, you know. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And then you're in.
It's bid, contracts awarded, notice to proceed is done. We got 2 years to build it.
That came in at 2.2.
Yeah.
That came in way under what
Yep. Contractors like working in Troy. It's quick, simple for them, like to get in, hammer it out, and be out of that. Louisi was awarded. They're actually hoping to probably get it done this fall, depending on how some other projects go. See how it goes. Realistically, they have till December 24th to get it done.
good news. I think that's it for project updates. Other business,
I'm assuming Martin put this update on the City of Waterville Reservoir. Land protection purchase under WQIP. The city got $400,000 for the purchase and was awarded bonus points because that land preservation project was identified in the DWSP2 watershed protection plan that CDRPC put together.
they got a WQP grant.
400,000 to purchase the old golf course next to the reservoir.
So that's for actual purchase, it's not for conservation easements.
Purchase.
Yeah, the city of Albany got $900,000 grant. We've been trying to figure out how to do land acquisition for water quality on a Cove watershed. But it's well, it's a tough process. But maybe Waterville has a straightforward path. We're just trying to solicit and find properties and do land acquisition changes. That's good. I guess everybody knows about all the different things going on with Bill and WIA, and it can be confusing to follow sometimes. I guess one of the things that comes up is this stuff about PFAS and
Yeah.
water. You kind of know that it's coming up on the water side, but on the wastewater side, what it's going to do in terms of treating wastewater treatment plant sludge seems to be a problematical
Right.
thing. So many regulations, so little time. So can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Second.
Chris, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. See you all in May.